All right. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible greetings. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one and that one. All right, so you got everyone can see me now. Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Welcome, welcome in, everyone. How is everyone doing on this good old hump day? Happy hump day, as Gay Babe TV will say. As you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you are watching from. I went live at one. I'm like, it's kind of like a good lunchtime live. So we might take a late lunch, early lunch, like for our uh, uh, Central and like Pacific Standard Time. Well, Mountain Pacific Standard Time. So I was like, let me try 1 o'clock today. Um, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to get right into this because I do have to go pick up the little one. My phone's going to be going off in probably about 30 minutes or so because I let me know it's time to start winding down so I can go pick up. Oh, wait, I don't. Yes, after school tutoring. So I'm still going to operate because that's the reason I did this. I'm like, it makes me kind of keep this condensed, but he has after school tutoring today. So I don't have to run off to go get Ziny Money. Okay, good, 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 good. All right, but hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings and welcome to my world. All right. We used to do a lot more of the craft stuff and like demonstrations. And I don't know. Let me know if you guys do miss it. I personally feel like in 10 years, I've covered just about everything. I know. Some of you guys are very, very, very new to our channel and our platforms over on Facebook. And this may all be new, like just me in our company and our lives and our tutorials might be new to you, but I promise you, we've been doing this for 10 years. And I try to go off of like some, like if you guys really say, okay, hey, this is something we want to learn, I'll try. I try my best. I don't say I'll try, but I do try my best to kind of do those things and kind of incorporate them. So I will say we don't do as many like hands-on things, sometimes more like watch me works, but I do like to come on and just kind of have discussions with you guys because ever since the pandemic, I feel like a lot of my audience is more into like turning this into a profitable side hustle or a sustainable business. So we have kind of transitioned to more of that talk versus just the creative side, but we still do teach the creative side over in our academy. So if you don't know about that, you're going to learn about that in just a moment. Okay. So if you are brand spanking new here, you happen to come across this replay, or if somehow this live came across your feed, I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper and ink. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees as fast as 30 seconds. We are also no butcher paper required, so you don't have to have a cover sheet. We actually just got like the most amazing review a couple of days ago. Hold on, let me see. Is it here? I want to show you guys this really dope what happened there? Let me know if I'm coming across clear to you guys. I have no idea why it's like my bars, but it's never my actual internet. It's something with StreamYard where connection in the feed. Let me know if I'm coming across clear to you guys, if I'm blurry or anything like that, because I have no idea what's going on here. And it keeps going in and out. I don't know what's going on here. Don't know why it's going in and out, in and out. And it's driving me absolutely insane. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I have no idea what happened to our internet. Like I did have a lot of windows open. I shut a lot of them down. That did seem to help. So hopefully we don't kind of have that in and out. Maybe I just had too many Google Chrome windows open where we were kind of going in and out there. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Is it still glitching? I do see that there. So someone did let me know it's glitching. Let me know if it's still glitching now because I closed out a lot of those windows that were open. I think that was affecting the StreamYard feed. So let me know if it's still like how's the video coming across to you guys. All right, you guys can hear me, but can you see me well? Is it glitching? Is it blurry? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. It's good now. Perfect. 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 All right. Nope. Clear. No glitches. Awesome. 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 So I want to share with you guys this review that we got for our paper. All right. So we're going to share it there. And okay. Not sure if you guys can see it. I can see it, so I'll just read it to you. So and when I looked it up, this person ordered the paper. So they put the review on the tacky like sample pad, but they actually also ordered 8.5 by 11, like just the standard one. This is when everyone wanted to kind of just try out tacky sheets to see what the difference was. But they also had a full 100 pack of the 8.5 by 11, but they put the review on the tacky. But and they ordered June of 2024. I mean, June 24th to 2024, somewhere around there. So almost a year later. And they are just now trying it. And it happens to a lot of people where they kind of wait. It's like, oh, I have this paper. It's working. I brought it just to kind of see. I saw her online. Someone recommended it. I got it, but then they don't use it. So almost a year later. And this is what the review was. I love Game Changer. One, it says it's a game changer. Okay. I love the summation paper. Just finished 54 mouse pads. I used another brand on about 20 of the pads. The outcome was acceptable. It was cool. But when I ran out of that paper, so I gave Honestly Speaking paper a try. OM to the G. That's not what it says, but that's how I read it. Like OMG. The colors were brighter, okay? The graphics were crystal clear. And I love that you don't need a cover sheet. The instructions for setting up an Epson printer were chef kiss. They were great. I will only use this brand from now on. Y'all, I saw that review and it just made my heart smile. So if you have not checked out our summation paper, make sure that you go head over to our website, shop.hsinc365.com. Again, that is shop.hsinc365.com to check out our summation paper. You can also enroll in our classes. You can build up rewards points, and you can get some things for free 99. Well, I don't say free. You'll get discounts once you build up like your rewards points. But depending on the amount, something might come out free. But just head on over to the website and see everything that we have to offer over there. We're also the home of Silaholics Anonymous. That is the company or like the platform that I created to teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio. I am doing a lot more Canva because, it's about adjusting to the change. So I'm not pivoting from teaching. I love teaching. I love teaching graphic design. But I have to, acknowledge the fact that Canva's doing some really, really cool things. Am I going to have a whole company around Canva? No. Silaholics Anonymous is my baby. Like, I don't think people realize how great that system is. And it is also still a great companion to Canva, because if you're someone that just uses Canva to design, you need somewhere to print from, you can use Silhouette. It's free. You won't get registration marks like you will from Cricut. Someone just asked on one of our videos for the long stoles, like, hey, how can I do this from Cricut Design Space? And you actually can't. But you can download Silhouette Studio and you can do it from Silhouette Studio, and you don't have to put the registration marks. You can print as wide as your printer will allow, as long as your printer will allow. So Silhouette Studio is still a great companion to like Canva and things of that nature. So Silaholics Anonymous, 10 years of videos. Go check them out on our YouTube channel, Silaholics Anonymous. Some of you guys are watching this over there. And I'm going to have a little disclaimer about that too. And then, of course, 365 Creative Academy, that's where you can find everything. We got Canva classes, silhouette classes, Photoshop classes, sublimation classes, party favors and decor, phone board classes, business classes, pricing for profit, pricing therapy, memorial designing, just graphic designing in general, our creative business program, our creative lounge. It's a lot over on our Academy site, 365 Creative Academy. So we invite you to go ahead and check that out as well. That would be learn.365creativeacademy.com. Again, that's learn.365creativeacademy.com. So go check out all of the classes and things over there. But like I said, most of them you can also get from the main site. But if you're looking to use things like Cash App, Klarna, Afterpay, or Affirm for some of our more higher ticket programs, you can go check it out over there because it has all of those payment options for you. Okay. So I like to talk to my community about entrepreneurship in the creative space. This is something that, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for many years now. However, a lot of my the people that follow me kind of got into wanting to really turn this into a thriving business, due to the pandemic and having to supplement income. Now, I am one where although you can make some money this, and there are some that they have gone full time. It takes a lot of dedication and discipline, and really a mindset shift, and going from calling yourself a crafter to understanding that you are a business. That's something that's really big for me. And I got a lot of flack for it. I lost some followers for it because I'm like, what you do, once you are in business, I stand 10 toes down on that. Once you start doing this, and you're getting compensation for it, I don't believe in calling yourself a crafter. You're not crafting. It's not a craft business. You have a business. If you are someone that makes t-shirts, you are making t-shirts just like all of the other companies. The shirts that you see in all of the big box stores, all of the branded stores, they're making t-shirts, right? Are they calling it crafting? Yes, you might. Some people do full on custom. Some people just take transfers of different designs and everyone's getting the same mass produced shirt. Doesn't mean that you are you're no different than those other businesses. There are companies that do custom shirts. You submit your design and they're going to put that on a shirt for you. Do they call their business a craft business? No, they call it a t-shirt business or a printing business or a print shop, things of that nature. There are companies that customize mugs. Do they call that a craft business? There are companies that do the big prints for fans and all sorts of things. Are they calling themselves a craft business or are they just a business? So that's something that I've really kind of standed strong on over the past, for the longest, because it was weird. I'm gonna say weird. But yeah, it was weird to me when I kind of came into this space and I'm teaching, and it hurt my business, right? So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is just the messy and the messy side, the middle side of business. And I will say for me, not calling it a craft business when people kind of started looking to take these skills that they had and that it was craft for them and they wanted to monetize it. It's their mind naturally just went to craft business, and I wasn't using that terminology. So that did hurt me for a while. It affected my visibility. It affected my reach, people being able to find me because I wasn't using those hashtags. And I had to learn from that, right? Although it's not what I typically would call it, it's learning to not say clickbait, but using the right words to kind of draw people in. And then I can reformat and reshape that once they're in the room. Now, one of the things that I would never compromise on as someone that sells sublimation paper, and I know this has hurt my views because I have several, don't say we have several videos putting sublimation on black shirts, on cotton shirts, on colored shirts. But I never use the words sublimate to black. It's my brain would not let me do it because I'm like, you're not sublimating to black. You can put a sublimation print, with the help of something else. It's like, how do you say that? But I know for me, not putting that in titles, calling it sublimation on black or sublimation on cotton, that hurt me a lot in the growth of business. And that was like, for me, that really like messy middle area. Once people gravitated to sublimation because they're like, oh, I don't have to weed, I don't have to do this. But then like the realization that you had to have polyester, and like white polyester was the best way, but their client base was used to them providing colored shirts and cotton shirts. So now it's like, okay, I like this, right? But now what do I do? Because I don't want to, everyone keeps saying they don't like polyester, which I promise you, they got a lot of polyester in their closet. It's just this perception that when you say poly, they're not looking at the tags, right? So they don't realize that this fabric that has changed and evolved over the years, it is polyester, and it's actually sublimation, like especially the dresses and things from like all these like boutiques and stuff. That's sublimation. When women like their little tights and stuff like that with the prints, that is sublimation. But the average consumer doesn't really look at their tags to know that you've been rocking polyester. Men who like wearing jerseys, guess what? Polyester. They are definitely polyester. And it's like, so then when the term moisture wicking came in, it's like people wanted to hear that. But then because I've had someone, right? I was like, they'll say like moisture wicking. I'm like, oh, polyester shirt. No, I don't want a polyester. I want a moisture wicking shirt. Moisture wicking is not a fabric. Polyester is. So it's like sometimes you just have to adapt. And I think that is one of the missing components for those who are in the creative space and trying to connect with your audience is we tend to want to use industry jargon that, when we're communicating with each other, we're going to understand it, right? Like, we're in these craft groups and all of these creative groups and things like that. And we understand this terminology, but for the customers, they really don't. Like what their mind goes to is something different. So in order to be successful, you have to learn to kind of tap into how they're searching, what they're looking for, because at the end of the day, you're still giving them what they are looking for. It's just, you're just going to talk to them like on their level. And that's where, like I said, that was my downfall in I was so stuck on like being very technical with how things are said, and I wasn't willing to bend. And although I love silhouette, like I am a silhouette girl, like I'm working on an order back there now that I'm, doing print and cuts on for some flask. And I love silhouette. I just did a live video where I revectorized a logo to make it clear. Like there are things that you can do in silhouette that you're not going to be able to do in Canva, that you're not going to really be able to do in Photoshop per se. I mean, you could do it like in Illustrator because that's a vector-based program. Silhouettes, trace and detach, absolute amazing. Chef kiss, if you ask me, and what you can, how you utilize that. So even with my rolling printer, when I want to be able to set things up, most people will, gravitate towards Illustrator. I started in Silhouette Studio. I just use Illustrator to set the cut contour most times because it's easier to do that trace feature in Silhouette Studio to get that outline. So I'm always going to be a silhouette girl, but with the change of things and people kind of wanting to have things like to be on the go with stuff, I had to incorporate teaching Canva. So I have been using Canva for years now. Like I've been using Canva. However, I was not teaching it. It's like I would just do my thing on it. Like it was something in my toolbox that I would use to create different things, different resources so that I can incorporate it in my business. But I wasn't really, big on teaching it. Now there is no avoiding it. For one, Canva has, if you missed my my session on all of the updates for Canva, you miss a treat, but you can still watch that one. It's 1365. If you want to just kind of catch that playback, we're going to run it again on Friday. Um, so I'm trying to debate if I want to do an evening one or if I want to do a daytime one because MJ leaves for grad bash on Friday as well. So, well, grad adventure, eighth grade, because I think seniors call it grad bash. When eighth graders they call it grad adventure. But he leaves for that, so I'm trying to like figure out my schedule. Tomorrow's my 10-year wedding anniversary, so I'll probably still be on during the daytime because Even has to work, but in the evening time I won't be able to do a class. So Friday for sure, we're gonna run that back. It is when I drop the link for it. It is free to attend. But if you need the playback, then that is 1365. But Canva has, man, the updates that Canva has made, it's like I have no choice but to, because it is really a great resource. We have our Canva for Business coming up. So be on the lookout for that to sign up for, because I mean, everything from inventory management to just different tools and resources, like you can build it all there. And then of course, AI. I mean, if you're not tapped into some form of AI, I love how my favorite brand, Samsung, they call it advanced intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. I absolutely love that. But it's becoming more and more advanced. Like AI has been around. Y'all remember Will Smith's movie? So AI is not something new, and I think like big tech companies, they kind of tapped into it, and it was this thing that was just kind of behind it, like they were gatekeeping, and they were using it to improve their businesses, streamline their businesses. We just weren't privy to it, but AI has been around for a while, but now it is mainstream. It is everywhere. Microsoft Word, well, Microsoft in general, they have incorporated, like with their Copilot, Samsung, or no, sometimes not Samsung, Google. They have it with Gemini. You have so many different versions of like ChatGPT and Open GPT, Open AI. You have Opus clips that will use that. I use StreamYard. They have one where it'll take the content and break it up into small. There's no escaping. And Canva, their AI, Canva's doing something. I was showing everyone things like with Canva Sheets, and I end up doing some things with Canva Sheets, and I created some resources, and I'm like, I cannot believe Canva just did this. It's absolutely amazing. And I am an Excel girl. Like I have been using Excel for years. I know how to create formulas. I know how to create different, but the way that Canva does it, this is not a Canva video. Like we're going to get to it, but I just had to talk about that. But that was because we're talking about all the different classes that we have. So it's going to be amazing. Be on the lookout. Like you can go to our Academy site and you can get the playback for for the one that we did on, was that Monday? And then we're going to run it back again on Friday, and it's free to attend. But if you want the playback, then it's $1365. And then we also have our Understanding Canva class. But today, like right now, this live was meant to talk about the messy middle of entrepreneurship. Okay. And that still kind of leads into it, because it's that trying to figure it out. Starting can be exhilarating. It can be, it's a little bit easier. It's like you're so excited. You're trying so many new things. You're just seeing all of the possibilities. So, I mean, it's just like you're just so hopeful. It's just that you feel like you can conquer the world. And it's so fun. It's, it's like I said, it's exciting to like learn the new things. When you finally accomplish something, it's like, yay. And then, then there's that person says, oh my God, you did so great at this. Then like, that's like an ego boost. And they're like, oh, well, you should turn to, oh my God, you should sell this, right? And, you're on this high and you're getting those first couple of sales. And it's like, I'm not going to call it beginner's luck, but it's like, whoa, like this is kind of cool. Like I can see myself doing this. Then you start to have all of the thoughts of, oh, I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to do this full time. This money is great. But baby, when you get into the middle, when you really get into business, and now it's like it's so much, right? So it goes away from being like that little fun thing you weren't thinking about, the things that you were purchasing. You would just run out to Dollar Tree, you go in there for a couple things, you got a basket full of stuff, you're DIYing everything, and it's just so fun. You're not really thinking about the amount of time that you're spending on it. You're just enjoying it. But now when it comes to business, it's like, oh my God, I spent so many hours on this. I'm not making enough, like they're not paying me enough for this. Like, oh my God. And then just trying to acquire clients for them to pay for. Like, it's a high for you, right? It's almost like a drug. And you want that high again of being able to create something amazing, but you don't want to just sit around your house. Like, okay, I spent money on this. I need somebody to buy this. It was easier when you were just making it, you were giving it away instead of going to the store to go buy things. You were making gifts for people, but now you have to intentionally get clients. You have to make this appealing to where somebody wants to pay for it, where someone doesn't see it as just another arts and craft piece and they're expecting for it to be low, right? They want you to DIM it because they don't want to DIM it. So DIM is my way of saying they like do it myself. Because we'll get into this. A lot of people have gotten into entrepreneurship. It's like, they're charging too much. I'm gonna do it myself, right? So if you DIM it, but they don't want to DIY it, right? They don't want to do it themselves. They want you to do it at cost, and they don't understand paying for your time. They don't understand everything else that goes into business. And because they don't understand it, and your emotions are now attached to the fact that they're telling you that it costs too much, it's just like they're just disgusted. It's almost like the audacity of you to want to be like all of these other businesses. You just work from your home. You got some nerve to think that you are a real business. You better take these little couple coins and keep it moving. Like, that is how they treat, like some people get treated, right? Until you have that mindset and that shift of, no, this is a business, and you understand how businesses work and you understand everything that goes into it. That's that messy middle area where you are fighting between your brain, your heart, and then all them personalities, right? It's like this is a civil war of creativity. And most people don't know how to navigate through that. And that messy middle area is where a lot of people give up because you're trying to figure it out. You see everyone doing all these different things and you just feel like you are left behind, but you are becoming. You have to get there, right? I have 26 years. 26 years I have in this industry. So I've seen a lot in business and the different companies that I've worked with. I'm always looking at how business is run because I can make a lot of great things, and make them well. But to make it to have it where I'm able to take care of home, right? Like if I don't want to go work for someone else, it was like learning that you can't compare making, even if it's $25 on someone else's like job, because that 25 will take care of your household needs, like your personal finances. It's going to pay your rent and your utilities, get you your clothes, your toiletries, your food, your entertainment, your vacations, right? So that money really was only for one purpose. But when you're in business, the most important mindset shift that you have to have is when you are selling something, it's not just you taking care of your personal finance to do all the things that you desire, want, and need. You also have to take care of the business. The business is a separate entity. If you ever go to corporate, decide you want to do a corporation, like it breaks it down that way, right? That this corporation is like a separate person. Now there are, LLCs is, where most of us will start at. But it really is like a separate person. If you ever do like a corporation, and you build this business up, a corporation, a business, and can be a co-signer on loans and things of that nature, like financing. As an LLC, that business can't be, a co-signer, for certain things. So there are benefits to kind of doing the corporate one, but having that mindset, even as a an LLC or a solopreneur. Oh Jesus, I moved that and that was kind of different. Moving back, my robe was behind me. When you are sole proprietorship, when you're in that phase, even though like you have to be kind of in that area, just because you're not even sure if this is what you really want to do, so you don't want to invest too much into it. You got to still kind of have the mindset of a corporation and just really look at it like it's separate. The business has to make money in order to be able to pay you. If you want to have a business and doing the things that you do creatively, the most important, like the biggest piece of advice I can give you is starting today, separate you from that business. You are not the business, okay? The business is the business. You are an employee of your own business. Once you adopt that mindset, you're going to understand that the price that you put on things, if you're consistent in sales, like that's going to be another thing, right? So we can't want to have like one or two sales, especially if it's not something that's high ticket and we're not, talking to a high value like customer base. You have to be consistent. You have to have, regular sales for it to make sense and for it to really be profitable. But you have to look at it as this business needs to make money to sustain itself, but also pay me so that I can either save it or take care of personal things. The trap that you fall into is it's all in one. And your issue with pricing is, well, I mean, this is the profit margin. Like, oh, I'm profiting. But then when you have to go and you have to buy a couple packs of paper, like, where's that money coming from? When you have to go out and buy ink, before the sales come in, when you have machines that go down, when you need to upgrade the machines so that you can do more work or buy another machine, like, where's that money coming from? So the business has to make money. But it's really hard to understand that when you're in that middle ground. And once you kind of start, like, you get to the end of that like gray, messy area in the middle, and you start to really think like a business, when you end up on the other side of it, where you will start to see those profit margins, you will start to see the growth. And there's ebbs and flows. So even kind of once you get out of that gray area, some more gray areas will come up. So there's like middle parts to everything because it's never ending. Like until you decide to dissolve your business, you're going to retire, then that is the end of it. But as long as you are actively working in business, these messy middle areas are going to come because there's going to be so many ebbs and flows of business. There are going to be days where you are on a high, you are making a lot of money, right? If you have a website, you're going to hear that cha-ching go off. You're going to see that bank account just like, which by the way, you should have a separate bank account, technically several. You should have several bank accounts if you're in business, not just one, but you're going to see that. And then there are going to be those days. And I don't know if y'all heard me. I didn't say that day. There's going to be those days. These days may run together when you won't hear a ding. You're going to see money coming out of your account because you might have subscriptions for that Canva, for that Photoshop, for that amazing creative business program. You're going to see that 9365 come out of your account because it's going to still help you get past those those 0 days, those no sale days. So that you're going to see that amount go down a little bit, and then your urge to constantly buy things because you see it in groups and you feel like, oh, well, this must be the missing part. So you are now affecting your bottom line because you are going out and you're buying things that you have no idea how it's really going to make you money. You just want to try it out because everybody else is doing it and you're seeing it in the groups. That number is going to go down. And them sales it ain't matching. It's not replenishing fast enough. What do you do then? What's the strategy in it? Do you give up? Do you keep going? Like what, then it's like trying to figure out, well, how many days do I endure this, right? Like before I'm like, okay, this isn't working and I need to either pivot or just change directions. If I need to just stop and pause this, do I need to kind of take a break from it? Let me get my bearings about myself. Let me figure out a strategy. Let me really dive into what it is, like what it means to be in business, and then go at this again. What do you do in those messy middle areas? How many of you guys have experienced that? Well, let's say, look, put a 1 if you've experienced it before. Put a 2 if you feel like, being honest, Professor, I'm in the messy middle right now. 2 if you're in the messy middle. 1 if you're like, I've experienced it. I feel like I might be on the other side of it for now, but I have gone through that. And while you guys are putting those in, if you have not given this video a thumbs up, make sure that you do. If you are watching and you are enjoying this conversation so far and you have not given this video a like, do so, share it out. If you've been watching it and you have not said hello so that I know who's on and I know who I am helping today, go ahead, drop in the comments, say, hey, how you doing? Let me know where you are watching from, okay? She says, I'm in the mess and just a mess, okay? Come on, color. And I had to fix my color. Yesterday, my video was like washed out. I had to go in and reset the settings on my camera. All right, so I see a 2 over here. She says, I can't wait for you to release that info. Thank you for the peacocks as well. Hey, 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 welcome, welcome. How many of you guys fall into the trap of like, okay, some of you guys are in a lot of Facebook groups. You end up following a lot of people online, and to you, like they may have a viral video of something that you make. And because they have all these views and things on that video, you end up feeling like, well, dang, why is mine not like you feel like that viral video is an accurate depiction of their success. Well, man, they have to be doing great. Their prices have to be on point. Their business have to be thriving. For them to have this many views and this many comments and this many shares, I know it's a lot of you guys that have fallen into that. And then there's all of the coaches and things like that. And it's just like, the magic number, 6 figures. Everyone talks about like 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. You got to first get to that good, hell, 3 figures, okay? Like, let me get to $999. Like, for some, $999.99, if I can just get to that, hell, if I can get an extra $500 a month. Some people in the state that they're in, they just want a really decent side hustle. I'm not saying that this has to take care of like my entire livelihood, because I have a job that I like. It's, that's providing medical Oopsie. Look, I like a good cha-ching, okay? I like a good cha-ching, all right? So those moments when you have those cha-chings, it feels good. We like those. But what was I saying? Oh, that cha-ching threw me off. The cha-ching threw me off. Jesus. Um, but anyway, so I'm just gonna go to my notes, right? So in the messy area, the messy middle area of entrepreneurship, there's a couple of things that are going to, be like roadblocks, right? So it's the highlight reel versus the real life. Like, oh, that's what I would say. It's some people that talk about like the big money, right? And the rags to riches. And I was, I was like, in my lowest of my low, and I did all these things. I got a digital product, I started a business, and it's just been up, right? And there are some people that go through some really, really tough times, but they don't always talk about it when they are going through those tough times, because they want people to see them as someone who is strong in business. Like, they want to be seen as an authority in business. They want to be seen as successful. Going through those days of zero sales doesn't mean that you're not successful. To me, being able to identify that, like being aware and being able to just embrace that and then make the changes, not give up, and then be able to redirect, to course correct. To me, there's more success in that, because if you are someone that refuses to acknowledge the fact that the ship is going down, like, hey, we got some holes in our boat, you're gonna sink, okay? There's not enough doors to hold you up. You're going to be the one that sinks, okay? But for those who, in the midst of the mess, you can be the person that's, you floating on that door. You're going to get saved. You're both in the, like, there's two people that's in the same situation, right? A tragedy has happened, or like, just something catastrophic has happened. But how are you going to survive it? If you can survive it, there's success in that. And we can't be ashamed of those times where, we've had to cry, we've had to scream. Your mental is tested because you're focusing on the highlight reels of somebody else. And they might be in that beginner's luck moment, right? You're not really looking to see, did they just get started? Are these just their practice things and they're just sharing the practice ones? Is this a gift for someone, or did they make, like, you can't get all of that information from a reel. It looks good, but how do you know they made money off of that? How do you know they priced that correctly? There's a lot of people who have a bunch of orders. They are booked and busy, but they are also broke. Ooh, look, it all messed up. Come on. That don't need to be delivered blurry. Come on, clear yourself up. Okay, boom, there we go. Let's try this again. There's a lot of people that have a boatload of sales, right? I mean, they're just going, they're coming in. They are booked, busy, and broke, because they're not looking at their overhead. They're not calculating that. They're not thinking about the times that they are working in business, but nobody's paying for that time. This is not like on your job, to where even when business is slow, you still, if you're on that clock and they're not sending you home, you still getting paid, okay? But in entrepreneurship, those days when you have to do if you are someone whose job is an admin, you're getting paid to do the admin work, right? Somebody else is getting paid to do all of the other, like this task and that task and that task. If you're not in a position where you, as a company, like your company, can pay this person to do this task, this person to do that, everything kind of falls on you. So when you have to do that admin stuff, when you have to create that social media content, because right now you can't afford a social media manager, you can't afford to have a personal photographer to come in and take your pictures. So you have to time block out, time for you to go and take those pictures, for you to set that camera up and get these angles. And content creation is if you're really trying to do it for real content creation, that's a whole job in of itself. Unless you have a bunch of devices and that's at different angles and you're just going to let them record and then you're going to edit it. But then now you go from just being a regular old crafter to, well, dang it, now I got to be an AV. Right? I got to work audio visual. I got to make sure the microphone is right. Is it the little mic? Or do I want to go like some people had that real one that's really, really little? I couldn't stand that mic. And then they have the one which MJ stole all of mine, but it had like this little thing on it. It's a really small one. And now I'm seeing the ones that are like a brick. And people are just holding them like this. And I'm like, dude, every time I turn around, it's a different one. Then it was the mounts that people were like, oh, this is for content creation. There was the automatic one. Oh, it was so great, so great. But when that battery is dead and it just keeps going in, then they came out with the one that, okay, it wasn't automatic. You have to go and it's a suction cup. And then there's this. Every time you turn around, there's something new. So trying to keep up with the content creation of it all is a whole job in of itself. It's like, dude, I just wanted to make some t-shirts. I just wanted to go ahead and just wrap some chip bags in 8.5 by 11 paper. I just wanted to throw a sticker on some shoes pouches. How did I become a photographer? How did I become a videographer? How did I become an editor? Then I got to learn how to edit the, like, so video is one thing. Then you have to learn how to edit these pictures. How do I get my lighting? How much lighting do I need for this to look good? If you're like me and you live in Miami, they tell you sunlight is the best way. So it's like, yo, do you not know the temperature here? And you want me to go outside and fight with this stuff and my camera, and I don't know how to adjust for the sun and for shadows. I'm sweating. And as a woman, I'm sweating under my boobs. I'm sweating under my arms. I'm sweating. And this is all this. Who paying for this time? Who's paying for me to be in the sun? The customers that purchased yesterday, the day before yesterday, last week, the ones that will buy tomorrow, they should be paying for that time. The problem is most don't understand that you should be pricing for business as a whole. Not just that one order. That is where the money, like that's where the success is, when you know that based off of the business that you have and the orders that came in, you don't feel like you're working for free now. I sometimes still feel like I'm working for free because nobody's really giving me a check for that time frame. But it's like feeling like you're working for free when you have to do the things that no one is directly paying you for. When you go and you have to clean up that messy craft space, that messy workspace, that messy office, even if it's just a desk. When you're going and you're cutting this and cutting that and pulling this away and doing all these things, who's the janitor? Who's the janitor? That's when things get real, because you start to feel like there's not enough time in the day. So in your mind, because of all of those things, it's, well, I want to leave my job. Like, I feel like I can do this all day long, because you're not thinking about all the other things that come with business that have to be taken care of. Now, you can go and spend some money on it. Let somebody else do that. Your bookkeeping, your taxes, your inventory control, your website maintenance, your, putting together brochures or flyers, your business cards. I am one. I have a printer. I don't print my own business cards. It's not my business. I don't pay me to print my own business cards. If I'm printing my own or doing certain things for myself, guess what? That's taking away time where I'm physically doing things, whether I'm doing a class, like prepping my coursework for my different classes. If I am, physically making something, that's taking away from money making tasks. I make money so that I can have I have somebody else do it. And some people don't understand that concept. To them, it's like, well, why would I do that if I have my own printer? Well, if you did not price properly to cover that time for you to then work on your business and to do the things like manually for your business, you're then losing out because you're not making money during that time. You're not paying yourself unless you're going to do it that way. And you're going to pay yourself somehow for that. Maybe, still put on the books where, hey, you don't feel like you're doing it or you're working for free. But these are all mindset shifts that you have to have because people aren't talking about that. Like you have to find the right videos who are really talking about the real life and not the highlight reel of business. We do that in our creative business program. If you did not know, we actually have a session tonight, so you can start tonight. We're in the phase of going over like descriptions. They're going to get a little bit of Canva for Business today, where we're going to take some of these descriptions, take some of the pictures, and we're going to now put them together. So we're going to do some of that in Canva tonight, in my creative business program. Okay. She says, right, let me make it. I love that 533. Love the 33 at the end, a month. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right. So just the highlight reel versus real life. So social media shows the wins, the packing of the orders going out, which sometimes you guys think they're orders going out. I know, I can tell you there are quite a few people where hell, I would say including myself. Yeah, there have been times where you got to fake the funk, right? And they're posting things and it's going nowhere. It's for no one. It's sitting in a crate somewhere. There are some people, and it was so interesting because a couple of, I'm not sure if it was live or with me watching the playbacks, because I'm in what's called the morning meetup with David Shands, and there was, I'm not sure if it was Dave or somewhere in, either the playbacks, whatever, it came up where, he was saying, no, it was David, because he was like, if you're in these areas and you're having like you want to have a discussion, you want to go and, rent out like a little room or whatever. It's like, support each other. If you're in the same area, show up, even if it's like for that first one, they can schedule another, just they can get the pictures where it looks like there's a lot of people in the room, right? Oh, some of your top creators have done that where they had packed houses and not one of those people were ever into doing, they didn't care about no t-shirts, no creating, no party favors, no this, no that. They had family members. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you don't like, as a consumer, just from the outside looking in and looking at this highlight reel, you're thinking, oh my God, like, that's what I want. I want to have if you're someone that's an instructor, I want to have a packed out class. I want to have all these orders and da 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 da. And guess what? They don't even have it. They want to manifest it, right? So they're believing for it. And that is something that certain coaches and things like especially if you're in that service space, they will tell you to do that. Have family and friends come and you take pictures and say, hey, I had a sold out event, or this how many people we had. All them folks are just family, just supporting. Now, some of you might say, well, my family don't support like that. Find you somebody, okay? Some folks had people from their job in the dancing world come to their event. Like you have some people where it is their coworkers. I know of someone like they had a meeting at like their work, at their job. And so they were like, yo, I need content. So since all y'all are gathered here, they gave their phone to someone. I'm going to stand up here at the front and I'm going to look like I'm just going to be holding my hand doing stuff as if I am teaching. And I want, I'm going to let this, I don't got to have none of y'all faces. We're going to do it from the back. And it's going to look like I'm teaching in front of a room full of people. And then they go and they post it to social media, and it's giving them social proof that, oh, wow, like they have this room full of people. Let me, maybe they do know what they're talking about, because people look at numbers. And that's the other messy middle part of business, is focusing, like you should focus on numbers, but not be obsessive over the wrong numbers. I used to like when I first got started in like YouTube and things of that nature, it was wanting to be a big YouTuber. I'm looking at the people that I watch, because I was watching it for family vlogs and things of that nature. And they have all these subscribers and they're talking about the fact that they left their job, like they're a full content creator, they're doing vlogs. But then you realize, oh my God, the amount of recording that you have to do. the pressure of capturing like all of these moments, trying to create exciting moments throughout your day to where it doesn't seem boring. And this is why people end up, it's like kind of scripted, because real life sometimes is boring. So they have to kind of create these things, they have to piece them together. So now you have to edit and do all these different things. And then when it came to like where they were really making money at, the sponsorships, finding out that with some of these sponsors, they want you to say things a certain, like, so you wanted to work for yourself, but now you're not working for yourself, because where the money is in the sponsorships. They want you to say it a certain way, go like mention it so many times. You have to do so many videos. Like, oh my gosh, like now I'm a slave to you just to get these coins. And when I realized it, I'm like, yeah, I can't. I thought this was great, like from again, the outside looking in, looking at the highlight reels of everything that they're doing. But in real life, I'm like, yeah, I can't be a content creator. I am a business owner that creates content for the benefit of my business. I do love live videos, but the numbers aren't always there sometimes, right? I don't have as much as long as I've been doing this, as great of like as much knowledge as I have. This is great information, great content. It can be motivational. Unless I was talking about some mess, I cannot say that I've always had hundreds of people just, well, when I was doing more of the craft stuff, the numbers were a little bit different, but like just educating, I can't say that I have a whole bunch of people on it. People aren't sharing my lives like that, right? I ask for likes and I'm like, I'm looking at the number of likes based off the number of people that were watching. They're not there. I'm looking at subscriber counts and I'm like, man, like I know I'm giving giving you the best of me. I was trying to sing the song, but I couldn't think of it real quick enough or get the right cadence. But I'm like, I'm giving the best of me. I'm giving out great information here. Like, where are the people? But then I had to look at my bank account. Girl, you stressing over the wrong numbers, because although those numbers make the people who did watch, they were the ones that needed, because they took action. They brought paper, they purchased ink, they got classes. Girl, you focusing on the wrong numbers. Let them folk worry about getting to 1 million subscribers or 500,000 people on Instagram. I am not big on Instagram, but the bank account, baby, it says something different. Okay. Learn to focus on the right numbers. I had to realize that content creation is not what my business was. I was not in the business of being a content creator where I wanted to get these sponsors and do all these. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to just teach and educate. I wanted to do great events. I wanted to just make really good quality cutouts and party decor and things of that nature. That is what my business was. So I had to realize that I am making content for whoever sees it, it'll come across the right people. And I'm making content just to make them aware that I'm here, whether I have 100, 1,000 people, if I have 10 people, if I have 3 people watching, I'm always praying that even if it's 10 people, that it's 10 people that's ready to take action, 10 people that's going to support. They're going to like it. They're going to share it out. They're going to tag a friend. They're going to refer us to someone. Those 10 can lead to, like, on the front end, it might seem like it's only 10, but I don't know how many people that they know. They might tell somebody, hey, you need to go get her paper. You need to go, join one of her classes. She makes fans. I'm gonna tell y'all, I do not promote for HS Inc. 365 prints. I do not promote for our custom side. Every single order that I get is somebody who I have done work for, and they're recommending me to someone else. I do not promote. They ask me all the time, what's your IG? I suck at IG. You guys see the things that I create, because this is my main business, is teaching it, showing what the possibilities are. So I have a lot of content that is on my teaching platforms, but I don't really put a lot on my customs one, but the orders still come in. because I stopped worrying about those numbers. The numbers that I want is like, I want people who are going to really rally, who are going to champion me and recommend me to other people. Those are the numbers that were important to me. But when I was in that messy middle stage, the number of subscribers, the number of likes, the number of views, the number of shares bothered me so much. And I'm like, do I have to offer a giveaway? Like, I was sitting up here studying people's videos, like, what is it? Like, man, I'm looking and it's like not like when you have like the funny reels or like the messy stuff, the number of shares that are surrounding, that people are sending out all these different videos talking about Hallie and DDG and the restraining order and this, that, and the third. Like, you see a bunch of shares on that stuff, right? That stuff goes viral so fast. The Miss Shirley, the Beyonce, Cowboy Carter tour, all of these things, they go viral, boom, like that. But when it's real information, it's not moving at the speed of light. And that's that point where you're like, well, dang, what the heck is going on? Why is mine? And then when you do see a few people like, okay, they're getting it. And it's like, what is it? But then you realize, oh, it's let's get to 100 shares and I'll do this. Let's get to this many likes and I'll give away this. I see it on TikTok. I see it on Facebook. I see it on all these places where it's like, well, in order, like, the information and the content obviously isn't good enough for you just to share it out, for you to comment, for you to recommend someone and say, hey, this is great paper. Go, this is what I'm using without compensation. Now, everybody wants to be an affiliate. Well, if I recommend your stuff, you got an affiliate program, you have this. Like, people just aren't wanting to recommend people, anymore. So those numbers are they're not that great. So I'm looking at people and like, man, do I have to do a giveaway? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Like, what do I have to do to get these shares? But I worried about that in that messy middle area where I'm like, what do I do? Because you get to that point, it's like you're always going to have to evolve. You're always going to have to make certain shifts so that you can get to the next level. And I've been in that place. Hell, some days even now, because I'm working on some new ventures and I'm in that place. I'm like torn between a couple different things. I just had a whole mental breakdown 2 days ago. So like I said, that messy middle area will come in. Sometimes it's for a couple of hours. Sometimes it's for a couple of days. It can be for a couple of weeks. And for some, it'll be months of just trying to figure it out and become the best version of you. Don't run away for those messy middle areas. When the sales are not there, that's when you should be working on strategic plan. So whatever you did before to get you to that, like where you are, be proud of that, right? You made it there, because a lot of people, they gave up on day 10. Day 1 was great and they could not handle it when it started to be a little bit iffy and I ain't got time for this, right? They realized how much work it would take. They gave up on day 10. Whatever day that you are on, if you're wanting to continue, understand that all of those things that's happening, it's building you up. It's going to make you better. Those are lessons learned. Things are going to happen where it's going to shape your terms and conditions and policies. As you're learning more and you realize like how much work goes into it, you're going to adjust your pricing. Like, as someone that did balloons and events, most beginners only think about the time that they're maybe like, sometimes they don't do the stuff that like they're working on it. They're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to get these balloons. It's going to take me 45 minutes, an hour to go and set these balloons up. The balloons cost this. I'm going to charge that. But what about the marketing, the time that you have to market to get that customer, all of your marketing material? What about planning it out? When you have to do inventory, when you have to pack all of your things up in your vehicle to get to that location? What about the time when you are driving to the location? Who's paying for that time? So now, okay, yeah, you're there, you're setting up, you have all that, but what about the breakdown? Your time is valuable. You don't go on anyone's job and work for free. You're putting in work. There is a salary. There are wages associated with that. But in entrepreneurship, for some reason, many forget that part, that when you are doing work, you should be paid and compensated. So some might say, well, you don't get paid when you go to your, they're not paying you for the time when you go from home to your job, right? So some people might feel like, well, we shouldn't have to pay you when you're going from job to job. But there's a bunch of those in there. That's a part of my job. You can't get this if I don't show up, right? If I don't drive to it. That it's a little bit different for those mileage. And Uncle Sam rewards you for that. On your regular 9 to 5, no, you don't get rewarded for your drive time from home to your job. But in business, and that's the thing that some people don't know because it's not often talked about, you get credit for that. You get deductions for going from home to the job site, like doing it for business. So yes, you want to calculate that because that is even Uncle Sam, the IRS recognizes that. Everything that the IRS recognizes, baby, it has a dollar amount for me when it comes to business because you are now taking care of everything for the growth and the sustainability of that business. Don't get lost in the messy middle. Okay. Let's see. Your numbers don't define your value. So we did talk about that. Low views doesn't mean that you're not valuable. Slow sales doesn't mean that your product is bad, your offer is bad. It just means that you still have some things to work on. You need to work on some strategies. Best place to work on those strategies is somebody that has been in it, like really, really in it where you are. And they've been at the beginning, the messy middle, and in that phase where it's really, really successful. Like, you've kind of arrived at that first checkpoint. Our creative business program does that. And we meet several times. It may seem like a bit of an investment, but if you've purchased a heat press, if you've purchased a printer, if you're purchasing supplies, you're purchasing tumblers and shirts and things of that nature, invest in your personal and your professional development as well. And that is what we are doing in our creative business program. Having proper descriptions to make you where you come up as professional, and you're not going to have someone that says, oh, you're just an Instagram chef. You're just an Instagram this. You're an Instagram coach. You're an Instagram, you're just a social media influencer. When you're showing up like a business, doing the things that they're doing, it sets you apart, and you don't have people that's questioning your prices like they do when it looks like you don't have your stuff together. Business does not promise instant gratification. It promises opportunity if you stay with it long enough. Okay. You got to keep showing up. This is one that really is important. And that's why I said, like, for me, this wasn't when you make the mistake of doing this thing is when you knock yourself off track, because most time people just completely switch up and they're not really like pivoting. They're really, really like just they're taking themselves out of the game. So you don't pivot just because it's hard, you're uncomfortable, there are no sales. You pivot when the strategy calls for it, when the numbers call for it, when the data, not say numbers, when the data calls for it. That's just like I always say, Blockbuster, not making that pivot to, I would say Redbox to me was first, where they just kind of had these standalone locations, these really big locations. And to me, Redbox was like the beginning of the end for places like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, where they had these bigger stores and have, now it's more convenient because I can go to any Walmart and all these other places. I can go up there and get my movie, whatever. The cost was a little bit less. And that was like, that part. And then of course for them, you really can't compete with streaming. Like, so some of those started to like slowly go away because of the easy access to things with streaming. It used to take movies a really, really long time before they got to the streaming platforms. It went from like the movie theaters to VHS and then like, DVD and Blu-ray before it got to a point where you could really like just stream it. So there was what's what I'm looking for? Like I'm gonna say there was like a sequence of things. Now, most of these movies are in the movie theater 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and you can go and now stream it. Like you can now watch it in your home. It wasn't this whole thing to like having to wait so long to be able to like stream it. Now it's almost instantaneous. And if a movie didn't do too well, look, you barely gonna see it still at the movie theaters. Some people still go to it just to get out of the house, just to have that experience, but it's available on streaming, right? So things have changed and you have to evolve with that. When the data says that you're going to have to make those changes, then you do, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to like completely abandon everything that you did before then. Overnight success is never overnight. What you don't see, like you never see the 5,000, the 365 nights before that overnight success. Sometimes 365 times 5 times 10. They'll say that sometimes it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. You have musical artists, they become a success story for some, like back in the day, like Bow Wow, like being like 12 and, hell, he was a preteen, but it was the work before that, him having a love for music, or just for those who sing. They had voice coaches and things of that nature when they were younger. If it's a musician, they were taking piano lessons and learning how to use the drums, learning all these different instruments before they became this world-class musician. Even for child prodigies, they had to start somewhere. So overnight success is a vanity matrix. No one truly has, like, they wake up with an idea and the next day they start with the idea on Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, they perfect it. Come Thursday, they are a success. There are many, many sleepless nights and days. There are a lot of messy middles before that overnight success, where now more people know about you, know about your business, what it is that you offer and you provide. Don't let what seems like overnight success, because you just did not know about that person, and now because of things going viral, it's like everyone's talking about them. You see it as an overnight success. Don't discount the work they have put in for years. Don't devalue the work that you are putting in now for your overnight success moment. Because if you're doing it correctly, if you're doing it with strategy, if you're doing it with intentions, you're doing it from a business mindset, that success that you desire will come. It will come. And to others who did not know about you, it's going to seem like, man, you just popped up and you just arrived, but you've put in the work. Don't devalue that. There's lessons to learn in the messy middle, in the gray area of business. Keep a journal. Write down those moments. Don't run away from those moments where everything isn't so great, those uncomfortable moments, those moments when you're not making sales. What did you do? What did you not do? Could you have posted more? Could you have not made excuses? Could you have not gone to, you had 3 free hours to go out with your girls, with your boys for a day party. You went to that brunch. I am not saying to cut out all of the fun things, but there may have been a time where did I really need to go? And then you end up there and it's like, man, this was a bust. This was boring. I could have been somewhere doing X, Y, and Z. I could have been listening to a podcast, watching a podcast, or watching a video, reviewing a class to help me. So I want you to think about those things that you are not doing. There's a lot of money in the things that you are not doing. Like I will say for me, um, doing short form content, I feel as if I'm missing out on a lot of money because I'm not doing more short form content. But I can't stand it. I got to find somebody to do it for me. But as of right, I cannot get upset about the money that I am missing out on because I'm just not at the point where I fully embraced short form content. All right. Um, I could be missing out on money because in the business that I'm in, webinars are proving to be a great avenue for people finding out about your services and things of that nature. So I'm slow walking it. What I do are they're kind of like webinars, but on the level that others are doing it, I haven't like fully come into that because I just tend to rely on my live videos and things of that nature. So think about the things that you're not doing and finding that time where and making that decision, planning it out. Okay, I'm going to do this on this day, come hella high water, and sticking to it. What is your discipline, your habits say about you? And your disciplines, your habits, the things that you do with intention, the things that you do or do not do consistently, they are going to determine how long you stay in that messy middle. Okay. So hopefully this was beneficial to your hearts, minds, and souls. Um, you can catch me, in our, want to be live, you want to kind of have more interaction with me, you need more of this. Even if you just try it out for 1 month, we do have an option where you can try it out month to month. You don't have to be committed where it's going to continuously come out of your account. Just 1 month, and you can go back, you can watch all the other sessions, you can join us tonight. That would be in our creative business program. So if you are someone that is looking for help and guidance, I invite you to go ahead, go to our website. I'm going to drop it because I forgot to put links in the descriptions today. But if you go to learn.365 Creative Academy, you're going to look for the creative business program. It is on that main page, and join us for a month. And we will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are someone that just needs summation papers that you can create amazing prints like this, then head on over to shop.hsinc365.com. So that's the website right there. If you need summation ink, summation paper, you can also enroll in classes there. And then 365 Creative Academy, you have to go there for the creative business program, the creative lounge, the phone board program, and things of that nature. Okay. All right, y'all. Until next time. Oh, wait, let me see. Someone says, I have grown so much on how to manage my business since being enrolled in my classes. And specifically the creative business program. This is someone that is in our creative business program. But some people tell you that, like, just from all of our classes combined, learning, because in this creative space, you got to learn how to design. Because if you don't, you end up taking up too much time on a design, then you still feel like you're not making any money, just learning how to price properly. So all of our classes combined, but that creative business program for just all of the strategies for a thriving side hustle or a sustainable business, you're going to get those in the creative business program. Okay. All right. So once again, until next time, have a great one. Oh, you guys didn't get to see it over here. Hold on. I want to put those back up on screen for you guys. It is 365 Creative Academy for all of our classes to enroll in the creative business program. And then, shop.hsinc365 for all of our sublimation products, paper, ink, pigment ink, resources like your color charts. And we have HS Digital on there. So we do have templates and files to be able to help you with your designing, like our fans and things of that nature. So check all of those out. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Later, guys.